The Cayenne is back for a third generation, and even though the concept of a Porsche SUV took a little while to get used to when the first gen model debuted, it is now not only a big part of the family but makes up a big chunk of all Porsche sales. And the trend in this third generation, to rip on the title of an old Daft Punk tune, is lighter, better, faster, stronger. The 2019 model ditches a few £100 thanks to liberal use of aluminum, while gaining greater structural rigidity and even more powerful engines at the top and bottom of the range, all while sticking close to the dimensions of the outgoing model. In fact, the 2019 Cayenne keeps the 114-inch wheelbase of the outgoing model, while growing in height by just 0.3 inches and in length by February 4 inches. That's about as close to the dimensions of an outgoing model that an all-new design can get without reusing the earlier platform, but looks can be deceiving, as it's an all-new and radically rethought vehicle underneath. A range of V6 and V8 engines powers different versions of the new Cayenne, which will eventually include two different hybrid models in addition to the non-hybrid ones. The single-turbo 3.0-liter V6 serves as the base engine with 335 HP and 332 lb-ft of torque on tap, with max torque arriving at just 1,340 rpm, good for dashes from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.9 seconds. That's an extra 35 HP and 37 lb-ft over the outgoing model. Up next in the range, the mid-model is the twin-turbocharged 2.9-liter V6, good for 440 HP and 405 lb-ft of torque in the Cayenne S. At the top of the range sits the Cayenne Turbo, powered by a twin-turbocharged 4.0-liter V8 with 550 HP and 567 lb-ft of torque on tap. This is the sole model with turbo on the badge, but they're all turbos. Everybody gets a turbo these days, and all three are paired with 8-speed automatics. It's almost as if Porsche created this three-model non-hybrid lineup spaced about 100 HP apart from each other, and admittedly it does make the price ladder very easy to back up with performance numbers when shopping for one at the dealership. On the inside, a 12.3-inch infotainment screen dominates a very German dash with a slight whiff of Audi's buttoned-up, no-nonsense design with piano black accents. Supremely comfortable and well-bolstered, the Cayenne is still spacious and purposeful on the inside, preferring to skip some of the flair or visual dazzle of a number of its competitors. Since this is a new German vehicle we're talking about, the shifter is once again of a different design, one you probably hadn't seen before, with a very small park button located at the bottom of the shifter knob on the side facing the rear seat passengers. But that's about the biggest surprise when it comes to the user interface, perhaps on par with a volume control knob that's actually a barrel-like cylinder positioned flat on its side just ahead of the gear shifter on the transmission tunnel. Most of the other crucial functions are controlled by a touch-sensitive black surfaces with writing on them, Star Trek, the next generation style, positioned on a mostly flat surface around the shifter. When it comes to optional tech, an adjustable 3-chamber air suspension is on the menu to respond to selected driving modes, in addition to 4-wheel steering, a new item designed to improve handling. The base model is the one I'm sampling this time around, after we've already driven the Cayenne S and the Cayenne Hybrid earlier this year, and it's the one that will tempt those who need something a bit larger than the Macan without straying too far from the $66,750 starting price of this model. All versions of the new Cayenne have a lot to live up to, and for this reason I'm pleased to say that the new model offers impressive performance coupled with the dynamics of a mid-size German sedan packing the same 335 horses. That's a compliment, given the not too subtle dimensions of Porsche's larger SUV, and this goes both for road manners in the twisties and straight-line acceleration, which the Cayenne serves up with a very retro dose of turbo lag, lest you forget that all flavors of the new SUV feature one or more turbochargers. The turbo lag does not detract from straight-line acceleration. It likes to kick in when transitioning from in-town speeds to highway speeds in a hurry, but there is plenty of mid-range grunt on tap to counteract its effect. As much as this Cayenne likes switchbacks, its straight-line poise along mixed roads impresses, as well as I take it for a spin a few hours north of San Francisco. The mountain roads in this part of the state, with their quickly changing elevation and zigzag turns, allow me to give the Cayenne a workout amid a group of likely and unlikely challengers who are also out for a blast, including a previous gen Audi Q5 that wants to serve as the pace setter. The Q5 is forced to give up after a while, waving me by, but it does spark some conversation about the DNA shared between the MLB platform siblings. In case you're wondering, the new Cayenne is related to the VW Touareg and the Audi Q5, Q7 and Q8, all based on the MLB Vo platform but differentiated well enough. Is there a Volkswagen Group feel to the Cayenne? Perhaps only when it comes to interior plastics, which have a very Audi feel to them, as does the steering, but not much more than that. And that's a good thing, as the Cayenne is almost free of the isolating and slightly numb steering feel that can still be found in the Q7. Further cementing the Cayenne sedan-like feel is its management of curb weight. The new model does not feel top-heavy at all, and in fact it does not feel all that heavy compared to the smaller Macan, which can still outdance it on B roads when pressed to do so. But not by much. Throw the optional 21-inch wheels on this base model and it'll transform itself yet again. The larger wheels are absolutely worth splurging on over the 19-inch wheels, and they transform the handling of the Cayenne to the point that you could feel that you've suddenly found yourself in the range-topping turbo model. The difference is that profound, and if I were to configure a Cayenne myself, the larger wheels would be a must-have feature, much more so than rear-wheel steering. More importantly, the larger wheels don't affect ride comfort for the type of driving that most owners will be doing, which may be far from the sparsely traveled roads in the woods of Northern California. The chassis and steering offer some of the best setups I've encountered in an SUV of this size, offering a comfortable ride over less than ideal pavement that does not become floaty or overly cushy, while providing just the right amount of feedback on mountain switchbacks. The Cayenne hides its size well when tackling those switchbacks, doing a good impression of the smaller Macan. The feature that you're likely to hear the most about if you're shopping for a new Cayenne are the surface-coated brakes, PSCB, which produce 90% less brake dust but cost an extra $3,490. Having sampled this option on the turbo model, on which they're a standard item, I've found that they certainly offer more grip during driving that should be done on the track or when reenacting scenes from Ronin, but can be a little too grippy when running errands around town at tame speeds. This option is certainly worth trying if you're expecting to be doing some heroic driving on the regular, but it's likely not a must-have when ordering a base Cayenne with daily driver goals. Porsche's 3rd Gen Cayenne offers plenty of thrills right out of the box even in base trim, requiring only a moderate selection of options rather than a lengthy process of adding dozens of items to a long list, but it's still prudent to budget another $10,000 to $15,000 for some must-haves like the larger 21-inch wheels, a $5,500 option, and the leather interior for $3,750. It's mostly downhill from there, and the premium package bundles a lot of the popular items together. More importantly, the Cayenne does not stray from the price ranges of its competitors, notably the BMW X5, and does not feel like a decontented version of the pricier turbo or hybrid models. It is a thrilling driver on its own, rather than a mild flavor that you have to settle for to keep your family budget from going sideways.